Football Unknown.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Football Unknown Podcast. I am your host, Carol Rosary. Before we introduce our guest though, okay, I have a little bone to pick with you guys, right? Because 89% of you guys are watching the channel and aren't subscribed. So before we start off this episode, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. And without any further ado, I think it's time.
We're ready.
I think it's time.
We're ready.
Before we start the episode off, how about you give everyone like a brief intro about yourself and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Lauryn Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Northern Virginia. Grew up in Sterling. Played basketball, soccer. I did taekwondo.
Yep. Oh,
tennis.
okay.
Loved it all, right?
Yep.
But basketball was actually my love.
Oh,
I was a baller.
really?
I loved basketball, but soccer chose me, It just kind of happened that way.
Okay.
So grew up playing a bunch of sports. And then in, I think it was my sophomore year, I tore my first ACL. I'm sure we'll get into all of that, but tore my first ACL playing basketball. My dad was like, no more basketball.
Sophomore year of high school?
High school, yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, no more basketball. We're focusing on soccer. You're already in your recruiting window.
Oh, okay.
So I said, okay, we're going to do soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Got recruited to play for Tim and Tiff Sahedek at Virginia Commonwealth University.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2009.
Okay.
Played for Tim and Tiff for 4 years. But when
Yep.
I was 19, Tiff shipped me off to the Trinidad and Tobago women's national team.
Okay.
I was nowhere near ready,
Mm-hmm.
but we did it. 12 years later, I played in 2 Pan American Olympic Games, 3 World Cup
okay.
qualifyings,
Yep.
Olympic qualifyings.
Interesting.
And now I own a training and agency company.
Wow.
Love it.
We're going to get into all that.
Yeah.
All of that. But hey everyone, before we kick off this week's episode, I would like to announce that Football Unknown is now officially sponsored by New Tempo, a brand new apparel company that is dedicated to improving the accessibility of the beautiful game to all here in the US. They have just launched their all-performance tee for both men and women, and I think they're beautiful to train in. I personally like their stretchability, their elastic recovery, and their resistance. New Tempo is donating 10% of all earnings to the U.S. Soccer Foundation that provides children who live in underserved communities, enabling them to thrive in an active and healthy lifestyle through soccer. So make sure to check them out before the shirts run out. And be sure to use the code UNKNOWN to get $5 off your order while supplies last. Now let's hop back into it. I want to hit you with the first question,
Let's
our
do
famous
it.
question, right? When
Okay.
did you fall in love with the game of soccer? Can you recall, how old you were when you first fell in love with the game?
I think there's 2 different moments.
Okay.
The first time I ever saw soccer, my
Yep.
dad was playing softball, slow
Oh,
pitch.
yeah.
And I was just at the field with him. I was young. I was probably like 5 or 6, something
Yep.
like that.
Yeah.
And it was the parents were just doing the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I saw. I said, whatever that is, I want to do that.
Okay.
I didn't even really see the game.
Yep.
And then he took me to watch a soccer game. And I said, yeah, we're going to do this.
Wow.
And then the second time I really fell in love was 2014 when when Trinidad and Tobago, we went to the World Cup qualifying matches. And that was another kind of rinse and repeat of,
Absolutely.
I love this.
Absolutely.
This is my future.
Wow. Okay.
So those were my 2 moments.
Yep.
Very
Okay.
different, but I loved it.
Now, what was like, when were you like introduced to it? Like, when did you start playing? Like, before you played like travel and like structural organized
Yeah.
soccer. Well, like, can you recall when you like started like first playing the game?
Yeah, it was shortly after that softball game. My dad and mom just signed me right up, and I just
Right.
loved it. Just loved running up and down the
Okay.
field. Loved being outside. I was an outdoors kid, and it just never looked back since.
Wow.
So 5, 6 years
5,
old.
6. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what was that first club that you went to? Right.
Oh, yeah.
When it was different than just playing pickup, right? Now you're playing
Yeah.
a structural organized
Okay.
team.
So started with this small club called SYSA in Sterling, Virginia.
Okay.
But my first real club, like competitive, really organized, would have been McLean Net Force.
Okay.
So it's in Northern Virginia.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. Wow, so long ago. Probably U13.
Okay. Yeah. I
around
see
there.
that.
I
Yep.
played for them and then Gunston Team America around that age group. Those are the 2 first really organized clubs that I played for.
Okay. Now, hopping in to that club, what are some things that you feel like you learned, right? Walking into that competitive environment.
From the McLean side, it was the physicality of the game.
Okay.
When you're growing up, it's kind of whatever. But once you get to that age, if you don't have that piece, it's
Yeah.
very different.
Absolutely.
so I was kind of fouling out in basketball because I was getting too physical.
Yep.
But then from the Gunston Team America side, it was the technical side.
Okay.
They were, I was the worst by far on that team. All my teammates went to UVA,
Okay.
UNC, UCLA. I went to VCU, which was a mid-major. But that team really taught me the technical and tactical side. So those two teams, it kind of gave me my base, for sure.
And what position were you going for back at that time?
I was a striker.
You was a striker.
I was a striker. I grew up playing a striker, yeah.
Yep, scoring goals,
and then kind of played a little bit of defense, but mainly was a striker. I got recruited to be a striker, but then I got put right back.
To where? Where in the defense?
Left and right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I tried to do those two positions, but I like center back better. Like it's just so much running.
The older you get, you want to be a center back.
Yep.
Yes.
So what was the next step for you after that?
For after the two young clubs, I actually spent a year with a boys team. Loved it. Okay. Broke my tailbone. It wasn't fun. The boys were great. Yep. It was another McLean team. Yep. I just needed when you get stagnant as a player.
Absolutely.
I was very stagnant and I just kind of needed something different to switch it up. Played for a boys team for a year. It was excellent.
Yep. To get you out of your comfort zone.
And then I switched over to my final club, which was Loudon.
Okay.
Loudon Soccer Club. So I definitely took more of a step down. No offense to anybody, but it was the right fit for me to get recruited and be in a place from that U14 to that U18 level. Yep. That's kind of like where I sat. And they were great. They were excellent. Some of those girls I played when I was really young, and they kind of, hey, we want you to come back. We want to play with you again.
Absolutely.
I know you're playing for this team. They're great, but we really would love an opportunity to have you back. So I kind of went with them, and that's when I got recruited for college.
Okay. So now before we hop into the recruitment and how how all that went, did you find any difference between playing with girls and then playing with boys now?
Oh, of course.
Can you
egos?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's fun. But at that age, that U13, 14 age, it's there, but it's a passion. The passion on the men's side is so
interesting,
so different. When you're a female player and you score, it's a little bit different. It's the hugs. When you play with boys, it's the celebration in the corner. It's a little different. Now some things are changing, especially in the NWSL, but there's some cool, funny celebrations coming out. But that was like a big difference. You score a goal, it's like the World Cup with the men.
I see that.
Men.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very different. Yeah. So I got to learn a little bit. Had two great coaches at those clubs. Yep. On the boys team, but I would say that the passion was just different at that age.
Okay.
Very different.
Yep, I see that. So now moving into your recruitment.
Yeah.
Right. How did that all pan out? Like, what was some schools that came to you?
My first school, I was actually committed to Syracuse.
Okay.
Under Pat Farmer. Yeah. And I was ready to go, set to go, and then he retired. I was heartbroken.
As a striker or a defender?
As a striker. As a striker. Pat Farmer. He retired. They did not, they didn't keep nothing was signed yet. So it was just a verbal commitment.
Okay.
Which is okay.
Okay.
And then I looked at Towson, JMU, and the Citadel.
Okay.
And my dad was like, no daughter of mine is going into military. I want to be in the military so bad growing up.
Really?
So bad.
Why?
Yeah. We grew up playing like Navy SEAL games.
Okay, yeah.
Marine. I wanted to be a Marine.
Okay.
But he was like, no. Once again, he's like, I love the scholarship. It's great, but no daughter of mine. And now and then he wanted my brother to do it. Now he's like, I should have let you do it.
Oh,
my dad's different now.
Yeah.
But so then the Citadel was out, and then I was kind of just like a sitting duck, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
And you were already a senior at that point?
Junior.
Okay, you were a junior.
I had just come back from my ACL because I was a sophomore.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I don't know, like I was gonna go to Syracuse, then I fell in love with the Citadel, and just didn't work out. And then out of nowhere, we get a letter from Tim and Tiff Sahadak, who are now at UCF.
Yep.
They were at VCU when I was obviously playing.
Okay.
And it was like, we absolutely love you as a player. We want you.
Wow.
Mind you, Tim and Tiff played for the national team, U.S. national team, and for UNC. I'm like,
oh man, yeah.
I am like I wasn't a starter.
Yep.
I was coming off the bench. I'm going to be very realistic with myself. So I was very confused as to why someone that high saw something in me when I didn't think I was this overly great. Excellent player. I thought it was good, but not at that standard.
Yeah, you didn't think you were at that level to where
No. Said national. Did she want a World Cup?
Absolutely.
I was like, you want me? Like she won a World Cup for the United States.
Wow.
And, I went on campus one time and I committed within an hour. It was,
wow, within an hour.
I think we went to the bookstore to get some food and I called them back and just committed right on spot. Because they had already offered me.
Yep. So how did your parents feel, hearing all that?
I mean, they were excited. They were like, you sure you don't want to think about it? I was like, no, this is the school for me. I took one foot on campus. I said, this is where I need to be. From the culture to the food, coming from Northern Virginia is very different from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
And there's the culture difference. It's just way more of a melting pot in Richmond, which I really liked. I loved them. Their family culture. I mean, I'm here working, UCF campus, our 13th year working camp together. Wow. That's the kind of culture that
absolutely. Okay.
It was a no-brainer for me to go to VCU.
Wow.
No-brainer.
So now stepping into the college world and into that D1 world. So what was it? It was a D1.
Virginia Commonwealth University, mid-major, right in the middle of the pack. Now we're a lot higher, but mid-major.
How was it for you, getting used to that environment and that competitive nature, right?
It was very different.
Yeah. Talk to me about that.
I remember my first fitness test. I was like, I got this. I'm good. We had to run 120s. We had to run 10. And I came out the gate flying. Ego.
Yeah.
Did 4 in a row. Crushed everybody. Seniors, and they just were laughing. Died out at 4. Didn't pass any other fitness tests.
No.
Nothing. Beep test, none of it. 300s, none of it.
Uh-huh.
And then we had breakfast club. And I remember my captain would come out. She played for the Canadian national team. Big girl.
Yeah.
She was a big girl. And she would just pull me across. We would just practice the runs. And she would pull me across the line every time. She's like, you'll never miss a fitness test again. And I never did. Haven't since.
Really?
Never has failed not even professionally or anything.
Wow.
Like there's just no way. After that, feeling that moment of dying so fast at that level, kind of really, leveled
woke
me
you
out.
up. Yeah.
Actually, no, I did fail one more fitness test in my pro career, just one. But other than that,
you were on the ball.
Yeah.
You're on the ball.
Tim and Tiff really taught me very quickly.
Yep.
This is different than what you think it is. So I was going from here to here very quickly, but I came in as a striker. So it's a little bit different. I can't just run once.
Yep.
I'm running all the time. It's not just one time.
So how was it like? So how was the teams? Like the players?
They were great.
They were great.
We had 4 Costa Rican national team players.
Yep.
2 Canadian national team players, and then a few girls
so
that were
you
just
guys were set.
We were doing very well, and it was Tim and Tiff's first few years coaching college ever. Like they did very well for, just coming out the gate. They were 30, 31 at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did very well.
So how did the first season go? For your freshman year coming in?
Let's see. Freshman year, we did okay. Sophomore year, did a little bit better. And then my junior and senior year, we went to the conference finals and lost.
Interesting.
And VC is a very weird curse right now. We don't know what's going on, but we have been to the conference championships like 11 out of the 13 years and have lost every time or something crazy like that. There's some weird and there's been a coaching switch and everything, so we don't know what it is. But we were decent.
You got a little juju over there, man.
We do. Just decent across the board, but it was a great experience. Like I had the best 4 years of my life.
Wow. So what are some things you learned, in that 4-year period, growing as a player, playing against these different schools, playing with these different players and learning from these different coaches? Yeah,
I learned so many things. One of the main things I learned was you have to understand yourself as a player. You have to understand your strengths and weaknesses, but more so your strengths. Because everybody works on their weaknesses, which I understand.
Absolutely.
But Jordan is Jordan.
Yep.
Tiger is Tiger for certain reasons, right? They're working on that craft because they're so good in those areas.
Okay.
So Tim and Tiff are always like, girl, you're running to the ball and you don't even know what you want to do with it. You're faster than everybody else. Sprint to the freaking ball.
Yep.
Get to it first and then make the decision. But I was already thinking about the wrong things too early.
Okay.
So I had to understand my asset was my speed, my physicality, my jumping.
Okay.
I don't need to be Marta on the ball. I don't need to try to do something that I'm just not naturally gifted at.
Absolutely.
I have different gifts.
Yep.
And Tim and Tiff did a good job of teaching everybody, this is your role. This is what we need you to do. You have energy. This is your role. This is what you do. And then we move on. If you want to veer out for it and we're doing well in a game, sure. But if we need you to stick to something,
absolutely.
That was a big thing that helped me because I've got ADHD. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, everywhere.
That was something that really centered me as a player of, okay, I'm just going to go in and fill these 2-3 things that I know I'm good at. So Tiff always used to count on me. She's like, your first 2 minutes, I want a slide tackle from you.
Okay.
Don't hurt anybody.
Wow. Yep.
But get stuck into somebody because I was a hunter. Mm-hmm. That's why she moved me back to defense. I wasn't a goal scorer. I just wasn't. That was one of the main things that I learned. I learned standards. Like it's the standard is the standard, and it's not changing for anybody. Yep. We don't care who you are, where you're from, what color you are.
Got to keep
how
that
tall
standard.
you are. Yeah, the standards are the standards. So when we coach our kids right now, I'm like, this is the standard, and they're looking at me like I got 4 heads. You want to play at this level? This is the standard. It's not my opinion.
Yep.
So I had to learn a lot of professional development. Tiff was great at speaking on camera, so she taught us a lot of things about how to deal with media, and because she played in the World Cup, so she had to deal with a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But there's so many things that I learned, but those are some important ones that were just personal to me.
Okay. And what are some challenges you think you faced during playing for that college?
I got a good one for you. I went off to the national team, 19, so I forgoed my. I think it was my sophomore college year fall.
Okay.
Came back right at the end, and I'm rolling back like,
yeah,
I'm a national team player now.
Absolutely,
Right, exactly. Yep. I came through, and she was like, yeah, no, and I got benched.
What?
I wasn't doing I came back in doing what we were doing for the national team, which is not what this team needed.
Oh,
and I was doing just the different. I wasn't following, the team structure, which is a problem. You can't, and that's key for kids that are wanting to be on a national team and a pro team. You can't do the same stuff.
Yeah.
You can kind of pick a few things, but the team has a certain way that they're trying to play.
And you have to adapt to that way of play.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, you're on the bench."
Yep. So she had to, bring it back down.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I learned how to balance both structures, style of play.
Absolutely.
The different personalities.
Yep.
Junior year, I learned a little bit more.
So
that was a big one.
What happened in your junior year then? Talk to me about that.
Just time. I just had more time on the ball, and I started to become more of a fresh player. And I was, turning 20, getting older.
Yep.
I was able to transition, like I said, from the national team to college very quickly because we would have tournaments, and I would be a different role player for my national team.
Yep.
And then for VCU, it was just different types of playing.
Absolutely.
It's a Caribbean style versus an American style.
Yeah, it's different.
Very different.
It's very different.
So junior year, I started to get better. I didn't have another dip in senior year. Got benched for 10 games. I was just being dumb. Partying too much.
Oh, yeah.
Just doing too much. And I had to learn the hard way. And Tiff always did a good job of just staying right here. She's like, when you meet me here, you can be here. But if you're going to do this, go for it. But you're not going to play unless you stay in line with what the team is trying to accomplish. Didn't play my senior night. That was bad. That was rough.
Yeah,
she taught me a hard lesson
Yeah,
that
she taught
night.
you a lesson.
Yeah.
So when did you understood the lesson that she was trying to teach you, and then you got back to it? What happened? What happened that changed, Lauryn?
Well, I don't think I really learned that lesson until 2014, which would have been for the national team. So a few years, it would have been a year after. The same thing happened again. I'm just partying too much. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But when she benched me, it was because I wasn't there for the team. I was there for me.
Yeah.
I was more so, driven for my own goals.
Yep.
And then I ended up doing that again in 2014 with the national team, which this is where the knife kind of came in, and it really hurt.
Okay.
We were up for, we only needed to win one more game to qualify for the World Cup.
Okay.
I was starting at the time.
Yep.
But it was aggregate, so we played Ecuador home and away.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of a gap, like a 2-week gap or whatever in between the two games. So I played in the game in Ecuador, did well, 70 minutes, came home, partied.
Oh no, Lauryn.
I did. This is when I really learned the lesson.
Absolutely.
Went in 2 weeks later, completely not where I needed to be. My whole family flew to Trinidad.
Oh no.
Flew. My mom had never been. All my family went.
Yep.
I got benched. They were like, "You're out of form in under 2 weeks. You're not playing." And my dad was through the roof. And I was like, "Honestly, Dad, it was my fault."
Yep.
Oh, you should have been on the field. No, I shouldn't have, because I spent the last 2 weeks eating whatever I wanted. Absolutely. I'm a national team player. Like, I get no.
Yeah.
That one hurt, and then they scored in the last 10 seconds of the game aggregate, and then they won. They went to World Cup. like so many people, 50,000 people there. It was so
Oh, wow.
embarrassing,
Yeah.
and everyone's asking me why didn't you play?
Yeah, why'd you play? Yeah. Yeah.
It's my fault. That's when I really learned what Tiff was trying to teach me.
Yep.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
of doing things individually versus for the team.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
when everything changed for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
when everything changed.
Now, how did the national team even get to know of you? Like, what? Tell me about that. How did that happen?
Yeah, so we were at practice one day, and it was a spring season, and Tiff was like, "Hey, like your dad's from Trinidad and Tobago, right?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, you should play for the national team," and I was like, "You want me to play for the national team?
Yep.
I don't even start here. How do you expect me to do that?"
Yeah.
And she basically sat me down. She's like, "Listen, like this is gonna help you.
Okay.
This is gonna shape you," and it did. So she actually helped my dad kind of get in contact and find the right people. And, we just got in contact with one person and just kind of snowballed from there.
Okay.
In the federation.
Wow.
So it was a very quick process. I think I was out in a few weeks after we
wow.
had that conversation. Yeah, it was very fast.
So how did you process all that, And
I didn't.
You just, hey, I'm so long for the ride. I'm just going. I'm going.
Yeah, I was like, all right, well, we're going to do this. And my dad hadn't been back in 30 years.
Okay.
Since he was very, very young,
Yeah.
a young boy. And he, I just remember when the wheels hit the ground on the plane, he just started crying.
Really?
He hadn't been back since he was such a young boy.
Wow,
And the
30
fact
years.
that his daughter just got called into the pool
Yep.
was a big deal for him. And I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I was so Americanized at 19. And
Never been to Trinidad before?
never been out of the country. That was the
Okay.
first time.
Wow.
I learned a lot in like 10 days, very quickly. And after my first session, though, with the team, the head coach came to me. He's like, "Okay, well, like, we need to get you ready for the Pan American Olympic Games. Like, when can you come back?" And I was like, "What do you mean come back? Like, I made it?"
Yeah.
Like, there was no, like, official conversation. He was just like, "When can you be back?"
Wow.
So I had to fly back home, get everything, put my classes online, and then come back. But that's how it kind of all started.
Yep.
And then finished last year, July.
Wow.
Done.
Yep.
Done.
How was it like, adjusting to the culture in Trinidad and
Very different.
trying to integrate yourself with the players?
Oh, I got some good stories.
Okay.
So being American, going to VCU, it's a very out community.
Okay.
And, it is / was illegal in Trinidad to be out, gay. And so
Yep.
I'm going in there with my dangling earring, my shorts on,
Yep.
wearing whatever I want. And people are like, I would go into a building and they'd be like, "You can't come in here. Like, you ladies are wearing pants or a dress."
Really?
Yes. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, you just don't know these things.
Yeah.
That was very new for me.
Wow. Okay.
And everyone was very touch and go with, being out.
Yep.
And I was put in a position where I didn't care. And my dad was very worried about me.
Yep.
He's like, "Lauryn, like, I understand we've dealt with this at home and stuff, but this is a whole new country." And
Yep.
I was like, "Okay, well, I will take that into consideration. I'm going to respect everything, but
Absolutely.
I am out." Like, they're going to go on social media and see it. And it's actually very funny. A lot of my teammates came out after that,
Really?
but they were very, closeted because it's
Yeah.
it's different culture, things like that. And just, it could be the smallest thing,
Yep.
how you greet people, and
Yeah.
respect is just shown in different ways.
Yep.
And so I just learned a lot.
People you wouldn't even know. You meet on the street and they'll say good morning and stuff like that.
Yeah, you just have to learn everything. I always love this one is good night is a greeting.
Yep.
So it's not like, "Oh, good night," like
Yeah.
I'm leaving you. Good night
Nice
is
a
like
greeting, yeah,
a
good night.
is like a hello.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "Why are people saying good night to me?" Like, that
Yeah.
make no sense. So just very small, cool things that you pick up. And I just had to be in the culture to
Yeah.
understand. And I got to learn a whole nother side of my family. I got to meet my family in Trinidad, and
Yep.
I love it.
Wow.
It was a part of me that was missing. And then my mom got to go, and she loved it.
she
She's from
loved it
Ohio.
too. Yep.
She's from Ohio, so this
So
was
she
different
went
for her.
down too, and
Oh yeah, she loves her some doubles.
wow.
No spice. She was a doubles girl.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
she's a doubles girl.
Absolutely.
Roti. Yeah.
Okay. So how was the whole experience overall playing for the Trinidad national team?
Okay.
Being able to qualify, being able to play and try and qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
The team. How was all of that?
It's up and down. It's a blessing always, right? One of my mentors, who's actually, with the Portland Thorns now, Karina Blanc, she pulled me aside at one of the CONCACAF tournaments. She's like, "Lauren, there's two people that get to wear the badge, the flag. the people that fight for it, the people that play for it. She's like, you need to be mindful
Okay.
when you play at that level.
Yep.
So overall, it's an honor. But there are a lot of issues that I'm very vocal about. I got in a lot of trouble in 2016, 17, somewhere around there. I can't remember. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah.
Because I spoke out. We had a national team camp getting ready to play the United States. And we had no food, no water, no training camp, no anything. So I flew some of my teammates we sold some T-shirts, used the money to fly some of the teammates to Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
And I spoke about it, and I got in a lot of trouble. I was all over the news in Trinidad. People are calling me. My family's calling me in Trinidad saying, what is going on? I'm like, listen, they expect us to go play these teams. There's no training camp. There's no food plan for us. We're paying out of our pocket to go fight for a country.
That's crazy.
It's a little unacceptable.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I got in a lot of trouble. Like I said, they were like, please take the video down. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
Are you upset because I'm stating what the fact is? Like, we're trying to grow young women. How are we? We're not asking for $1 million.
Yep.
We're asking just for the bare minimum to get
care a little,
Yeah.
Care a little.
So the experience, like I said, I love my teammates. I've loved some of my coaches and traveling and putting on the red, white, and black is amazing.
Yep.
But to be real, a lot of people on social media think playing for the national team is perfect. It is not. Some of the surfaces that we have to play on.
Yep.
Medical bills. It's a lot sometimes when you're just a smaller country that doesn't have a lot of money.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Absolutely.
But obviously, I love it. I'll do it all over again the same way.
Absolutely.
Like if I was 19 again. Oh.
And what are some teams you played for? You played against? Played for Trinidad.
Yeah. So Ecuador, Panama, Mexico, Canada, USA. The list goes on and on and on. Haiti, Jamaica.
Yep.
I say Costa Rica. Costa Rica. So I got to play against my teammates.
Oh, wow.
That were playing for the national team. That was really cool, especially for my parents because they were with them at VCU. Then they got to see them at World Cup qualifying, Summer qualifying because they're in CONCACAF. And it was amazing. And the coolest thing is, I think, seeing the different styles of play.
Exactly. Yeah. That'd be my next question. Like, how was it playing against those different, countries and seeing their different style of playing?
Well, it's tough because in college, you're playing in your conference. And then when you play out of conference, you're like, oh, this is a big jump. When you play Canada versus a Brazil versus a Haiti, you're talking about complete 180s, especially if they speak a different language.
Yep.
So I tell people all the time, one of the things I took for granted was you play in the United States, everyone speaks the same language.
Yep.
Now I got a referee that's speaking in 2 different languages, a team that's speaking in a completely opposite language. I don't know what they're saying. I forgot how valuable that was when I could hear Chef Wright from the other team. Now they're saying, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
I had no clue. So I really had to start to learn some words in other languages.
Absolutely.
So I could be ahead of the curve because I didn't know that was a thing until you get into it and everyone's speaking a different language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haitians are speaking French and it's just different.
Yep. And then, you could understand, the girls from Trinidad to some degree, right? But then the accent comes out a little.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard for you to.
Yeah, in the beginning, I had no clue what anybody was saying. Not a clue. It was constantly like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
And then I started to learn and learn.
Absolutely.
One time we played some games here in the States, and some of my kids that I train, moms came up to me, oh, what language were you guys speaking? I said, we were speaking English, girl. Like, no, you weren't.
Yep.
So yeah, it's broken English, but you just get used to it. But in the beginning, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's how it is.
No idea. And that was another culturing experience that I value so much.
Absolutely.
I push all of our kids that we train right now. You got to go be around different cultures. If you have an opportunity to go play outside the United States or visit, you need to go.
And it helps you grow as a player too.
Yeah.
Give me that one team, that one country you played against that really stood out to you. Like the memory is just there.
USA.
USA.
Yeah,
okay.
we play USA 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
They're just different. That squad, the squad from basically 2014 to 18, it's just different. Way different, man.
Wow.
They just, you think, I feel like a cone. like you watch it on TV, right? You watch it on TV.
Yep.
You even go to a game in person. It is not the same as playing on the actual
pitch.
same. Yeah, it's different.
Really?
It's different. It's so fast. It's extremely physical. And I didn't know this. I'm so intrigued. I really want to know this answer for the people that do the sound for the games when you're
Okay.
watching on TV.
Yep.
Because the language on the field, you don't hear the language on TV.
Really?
Like, you know when you can hear the players?
Yep.
Nah, you
I
can't.
can't.
Nah,
I mean, yeah.
Nah,
I don't
you
really,
can't hear what they're saying
Yeah.
because I stepped into my first game. I got Abby Wambach and Alex Morgan going at it.
No.
Absolutely, Megan Rapinoe. I'm like, I feel like a little girl, right? Because I'm like, yo, these were the people that I looked up to.
Yep.
I just didn't know it was that intense because you don't hear it on TV.
Yeah, I mean,
and
yeah,
sometimes you
look at
can't even
Megan.
hear it when you're in the stands.
Yep.
Watching.
Yeah, you don't, because like the fans are yelling and beating the, you don't hear all that.
Yo, I was shook. But wow. That squad was different with Abby and them.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Alex and Cindy LaRue when she was playing for the national team.
Mm-hmm.
They moved like water. They moved so Rose Lavelle. Like,
Why was the team so good? Like, why is the women's team so good?
I mean, I don't know the specific answer to that question, right? But I will tell you this because I played for Tiff, who won a World Cup with the national team in '99. So she was on the team with Mia Hamm, Brandy Chastain, like that era.
Yeah.
That I learned standards from her, and that's what I saw when I played against them. There was a stand. If you miss past,
Yep.
you got 10 people on you. 10, and then the coach, and then the bench.
Yep.
They had a very specific standard down to the inch of what they wanted it to accomplish and how they wanted to play.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at our national team. I'm like, I wish we had a fraction of that.
Yeah.
There was just a standard.
Yep.
But
The crisp of the pass. Everything has to be on point.
What?
Wow.
Oh, man. Especially Rose. That girl
Yep.
can hit a ball. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, once you're on the field with them, it's just different.
Wow.
People say all the time, I can play at that level.
No, you can't.
No, you can't, because it's just different when you're on the
Interesting.
field. It doesn't matter if you sit 5 feet from them and watch it. It's just different when you're in the actual mix.
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
I got humbled.
so you're saying if I were to go on that field, I'd be like a noob. compared
Yes.
to-
One time, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh! So we are at a facility in Richmond, Virginia, and all the boys that play there are like, "Oh, we could beat the U.S. Women's National Team."
Yep. what was your response
Like,
to that?
you guys, like, there's no chance.
Yeah.
They're like, come on, Lauren.
Come
like,
on.
we're 22,
You know?
24.
Yeah.
We're grown men.
We've been playing this game.
I'm like, I don't think you understand how fast their ball moves. You have to understand, I'm with you right now, and I've been with them. I'm telling you, they are waxing everybody. Doesn't matter. Like, you
Yep.
guys play at on an
That's
indoor league. I'm not
crazy.
trying to be disrespectful,
Yeah.
but come on now.
Yeah.
There's levels to this.
Wow.
And that's what people don't understand
Yep,
is
absolutely.
they watch something, they think they could do it. It's just different. It's
Wow.
different being part of it.
Yep.
But yeah, I laughed at that one. I was like, there's no way you guys think that. No way.
So what was the next step for you? After
Mm-hmm.
experiencing that with the national team.
Yeah, so along the national team, like I said, 4 ACLs total. It's not fun.
What happened with this? When did you get the second one?
I had a second one. We were playing USA on their victory tour
Okay.
in 2015 16 because they won the World Cup. So they're doing like a fun, let's
Yeah.
play every team we can
Yeah.
crush. So we were supposed to play them in Hawaii and Texas.
Yep.
The Hawaii game got canceled because the turf. You remember when they were pulling up the turf that went crazy on Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah.
They were upset. I mean, everyone was upset.
Absolutely.
The fact that you could just do this. The
Yeah,
field
I
was
remember
really
that.
poor. And
Yep.
and then we flew to Texas, and then I just was running down. Kelly O'Hare hit the ball in.
Yeah.
I went to head it out because I was a defender, and
Yeah.
my left knee just got stuck, and it just tore my ACL, my MCL, and both my meniscuses, and one pop. Came back, and then my first came back tore my right,
Oh no.
and then had a revision on my right. I know. So
And that's the third one.
that was the revision. They still had to
Well,
go back in, so it was
yeah.
considered my fourth.
Your fourth. Yeah.
And I broke my foot. That was running in the grass
no.
for 6-year-olds. That's coaching. I had a big concussion in 2000.
Man.
I hit a head with one of my teammates.
Yeah.
But after playing with the national team, I was coaching along the way because you can't have a normal job
Yep.
while you're playing for a national team
Yeah.
or traveling. So I was just
Interesting.
coaching and training. It's just now gotten to the place where unknown was born and
Yep.
playing, coaching until last year. Now just coaching.
Okay.
Now just coaching.
Now we're about to talk about that.
Yeah.
But last question though, like how are you able to, make it through those injuries?
I mean, I had really good support system, but it shapes you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a battle too.
Yes, the mental part of it is very difficult.
Absolutely.
My second and third one were my hardest. Because the
Why?
second one was like I was peaking.
Yep. Oh, okay,
I was peaking right there with my second one. My third one was just like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
And then the revision was like, all right, we've been through this.
Yep.
It's nothing new. We'll get through it.
Absolutely.
But the second and third were really, really difficult. And I just had to do a lot of self-reflection, a lot of journaling.
Mm-hmm.
I had to understand that there was a reason, how many kids I'm going to be able to help, how many players I'm going to be able to help, with how many injuries that I've had.
Yep.
You can see it's all
Yeah,
over, just beat up. Trying to help players take care of their bodies the way that I didn't. Once again, partying too much.
Mm-hmm.
Doing those things. I've got some current players now where I'm looking at in the face and I'm like, you don't want to be me.
Yeah.
I promise you. You don't want to look back and cry
Absolutely.
every single year because for 12 years straight, 4 years of World Cup qualifying, you failed every time. You don't want that.
Absolutely.
Because you want to party and you want to drink
Yep.
and you want the girls and you want to do all that stuff, right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to have, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of surgery, like snap in, right?
Yep,
So there was a
absolutely.
reason for it.
Yep.
And I had good mentors say, listen, you've had a great career and you can still continue to play you can play at a lower level and have fun and enjoy it. But there's a reason you're going to help a lot of younger players and parents
absolutely.
snap into place properly if they want to have a good career.
Absolutely.
So that's just the mindset I had to grow.
Yep.
Tiff helped me a lot. So
Yeah, I see that. So now, Unknown was born.
yeah, no.
For those who don't know about that, tell them to give them like a little intro about it.
Yeah, so I'll go here first because I
Okay.
want to talk about, because I had two businesses before.
Oh,
I had two
okay.
businesses before. So
Yeah,
I've been
talk to me about
coaching
that.
since I was like 17, 16.
okay.
When I went to VCU, Tim and Tiff made it a requirement. We had to do community service hours
Yeah.
every single semester. She's like, I don't care what it is, it just has to be coaching, whatever team. So we picked up this little U6 team called the Sparkles. They were called the Sparkles, but bro, they were
Oh my God,
ballers.
that sounds adorable.
They were ballers.
Really?
Yeah, they were ballers. But that's kind of how it started. And then in 2011, I started my first business called Find Your Passion, FYP. So it was a summer camp business.
Okay.
Slip and slides, train in the morning, and then just something fun in the afternoon. We were doing
Absolutely.
color wars,
Yep.
water balloons.
What age group were you were helping out?
U6 to U13.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just fun camp.
Absolutely.
Loved it. It was the only way I could actually make some good money in between national team stuff.
Yep.
And then playing.
Yep.
That, and then I started my second business with my old business partner, Bree White. It's called Evolve, an all-girls program. All-girls program, and I loved it. But unfortunately, we split because I loved the older players, and I missed my boys.
Yeah.
She loved the girls.
Yep.
And the age was very, very young, which I was fine with. But I only had an hour to work with my college players. It wasn't enough for me personally. So the brand is actually still going. She bought it from me. She's loving it. We actually still share the same facility.
Oh, wow.
But then I was able to finally start Unknown, which to me became the perfect match between my FYP days.
Yep.
And then my Evolve days, and then Unknown started.
Okay.
So Unknown started in 2020 in COVID, and officially in 2021, but we kind of started moving things in 2020. I brought my boys back because all my male parents were like, we miss you. You only work with girls. Now I understand. We want to respect it. Go girls. But we miss you. And I miss them too.
Absolutely.
So once I brought the boys back in, I was just really happy in my college and pros back. I missed that so much.
Absolutely.
So Unknown is that U6 all the way up. Men's and women's. Yep. All the way up, which is what I'm most happy with. And then I've got 8 or 9 coaches on staff.
Okay.
And trainers and coaches, and we just have a great time. I've tried to
Absolutely.
position people in the right position with certain age groups,
Yep.
and I will bounce around. I'm mainly working with that older age group, though. But I'm
Okay.
still popping in with my young babies and my
Absolutely.
middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Yep.
That older age group is where I want to sit because I want to coach a national team. I will coach a national team.
Yeah.
And and then the agency started.
Wow. So okay.
I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So what do you do on a day-to-day, for unknown? Talk to me about that. Like what goes on in the
I'm going to take you
Unknown
through an
lab?
actual day.
Okay.
So we're up by 4:30.
Okay.
Yep. Up by 4:30. We have training at 6.
Yep.
Either it's a college pro session or it's some of my middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Okay.
So what has happened with ECNL and, GA and MLS Next, all that stuff, they limit them. But the only time slot that they didn't limit was at 6 a.m.
Yep.
So I said, I'm going to take that.
Yep.
Why not? I mean,
Absolutely.
because they're taking 4 all the way to 9 and they can't train on Fridays and they can't do this.
Oh my God.
So I said, bet, we'll train at 6 a.m. because I guarantee you nobody's getting up at 6.
Absolutely.
So the first few times, like, we're in a ton of kids, but now we actually have to kind of kick kids out. Mm-hmm. That's how many kids we have coming in at
Wow.
those time blocks. We have a cap on the numbers because we have only so many coaches.
Absolutely.
So 6 a.m. to about 9 or 10 is when we're training, whether it's either my middle school, high schoolers, or college pro, pre-pro. And then I get a little break. I own an agency. I have agents in the company and partners, so I manage a lot of them.
Okay.
Getting calls from sporting directors, helping my agents make sure we're signing deals and getting players where they need to go.
Absolutely.
Very, very small agency.
Yep.
Less than 20.
Okay.
Like less than 20 players. We don't have a very big agency.
Yep. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
Not yet, anyway.
But, and then just answering calls, talking to parents.
Absolutely. Oh, wow.
Probably around 1 or 2 is when I start to then speak to more of my coaches. Hey, this is who's coaching tonight. And we're starting to organize sessions and looking at who's coming, you know, on our list. Okay, who's coming in this evening with certain kids and players. And then we go back to training then the evenings, anywhere from, it could be from 4 to 6. It could be from 5 to 8. It just depends on the day. And then I come home and it's time for Netflix. And I have to turn my phone off because too many people are still, too many people are still trying to text and call, and I got to shut it off at a certain time.
Absolutely. You need that balance.
Right. So that's kind of my daily cadence.
Yep.
But we're now getting to that place where we're just hiring more because I can't do everything.
Absolutely.
Cannot do everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've hired a director of ops.
Yep.
People that are, like I said, in specific age groups because I just cannot do it all.
Absolutely.
Cannot do it all.
Wow.
So that's my daily cadence.
I really love what you're doing, by the way, with
Thank
Unknown.
you.
I've been following since from the very first time we spoke, because, Football Unknown, Hunch, and I'm like, wow, we have to make this happen.
right?
I've been following ever since. So then I see you have the Unknown League. What's that about? What's the Unknown League?
So, one of the big problems I have with the club system is it's part-time people giving full-time advice. Why?
Yep.
You're part-time and you're making a full-time decision for a young kid. Now, don't be wrong. It's not every single club.
Yep.
And it's not every single club coach. But
Absolutely.
90% of those coaches have a 9 to 5 somewhere else.
Yep. Yeah.
90%. And they're part-time for these kids. And then they come in and they're making these full-time decisions for their college recruiting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Once again, it's not every club coach, but it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I was in the club system and I was just like, what is this? I'm getting handed a booklet. I'm like, do you even know these kids, these 10 kids? They're different. Now, yes, you have to have a structure and stuff, but it was like, no, Lauren, this is your training plan. And I'm like, okay, but once again, have you met these kids?
Yeah.
This is not what they need right now.
Absolutely.
So that's why I was like, all right, I can't do this club thing anymore. And then when I got into training, the game aspect was missing from my training. And I was like, well, how do I solve both? Start my own thing. Who's to say we can't run our own games if we have enough kids?
Absolutely.
So we started running games. I had like barely any kids. Like it was tough. Like I was calling in some of my college pro. I'm like, can you just like come fill in with my middle schoolers, like just to make the game flow?
Yeah.
Now we have like legit divisions and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But we were checking for retention.
Yep.
So now I'm looking at, okay, this kid's coming in. Are they mastering this skill or whatever we're trying to master? Are they actually doing it in the game? Can I go out to their club games? Absolutely, but it's just too many.
Absolutely.
It's too many to go to, and they're everywhere.
Yep.
They're not local. So once we added in that game aspect, we were like, oh, we can't stop. We're gonna move with this. So right now we're just at 7v7, 5v5, and then like 3v3 for our young babies. Eventually we will get to 11v11. We still need more numbers in that area.
Yep.
And then I just invite college coaches out, scouts.
Yeah.
Just invite people out. Come watch our kids.
Wow. That's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Really good
Virtually
idea.
send them film. It's not a lot. It's very small still. But that's how we were trying to grow and actually develop. Because guess what? I don't care about winning.
Yeah.
If the blue team beats the gray team, great.
Yeah.
We're about competition over winning. We want them to just
Absolutely.
compete
Absolutely.
and grow. So it just kind of stuck, man.
Wow.
It just kind of stuck, and we kept going.
So how do you become a player in playing in the unknown league?
Yeah, so
How
right
did that
now
come
we're just
about?
based in Richmond, Virginia. I've had a few trainers that have reached out to me that want to basically attach our league to their training company, because
Okay.
that's exactly what I did.
Yep.
But all you would do is, we have a little form online. I'll shoot it to you. They just fill out come in for a free session. I allow kids to come in from 1 to 3 sessions. Let's see if we align. Let's see
Okay.
if you actually, we can actually help you.
Yep.
Let's see if you enjoy it, because we're
Absolutely.
very intense in training.
Absolutely.
If you like it, we just get you onto one of our teams. We just eval the kid. All right, they design, they should be here. And if you're good enough, you're old enough. Simple.
Yep. Interesting.
Like, if I have some of my younger players play up, I don't care.
Yep. Absolutely.
Why? Like,
Yeah.
it's the mentality of, I hate when a lot of coaches are like, well, they can't complete the skill at this level, so what makes you think they could do it higher? Well, sometimes we need to overload the brain. What do you think school is? What do you think a test is?
Yep.
If we were to never give tests, we would never overload the brain or throw in an extra question that's really going to challenge someone.
Absolutely.
Now, if you can continue to move them up and then back down to their age level, that's when you see the big change.
Okay.
Because sometimes a kid comes in and everyone looks at me, they're like, you're crazy for letting this kid play here. I'm like, yeah, but I don't care about winning.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to develop.
Exactly.
To develop.
Absolutely.
That's the key thing here.
Yep.
We have to take the ego out of it. We're not winning until college, national team, college team, whatever.
Yep.
Between now and then, it's just about competing.
Absolutely.
So we love it. We've got UA to U11 division, middle school division,
Yep.
high school division, college pro, pre-pro
Interesting.
division.
Yep.
Just have fun with it.
So what are you looking for in a player, right? Before you sign them, to the agency or to the league. What
So
are you
for the
looking
league, alignment.
Okay.
They just have to align, because there's some kids that come in and they're looking to play in something that we might not be able to provide.
Okay.
Right? They
Yep.
might need to go to like an MLS Next or just something different. So for the younger kids, it's mainly about alignment, and if their parents are okay in understanding that this is not club. We are not going to function like a club. I'm going to have your kids train up, at, and down. So let's say we have a 13-year-old. I'm going to have her train at her level with her age group. Excuse me. I'm going to have her train younger, because I'd rather you do the skill against 11-year-old, a 10-year-old, rather than a cone, because it's an actual moving object, especially when they're that young, because then they're really unpredictable.
Yep.
And I'm going to have you train up, U15s, U16s, and we just continue to do that. That's when you're going to start to see the middle age group, the confidence start to build.
Interesting.
Oh, my confidence, I got to go train with some people that I can really work on my left foot with.
Yep.
Okay, now I just really need to get a little physical. Or speed of play, I need to be playing 2-3 years up. So alignment. Is the parent and child okay with that structure?
Okay.
That's number one.
Yep.
Now for agency and, pre-pro, college, all that stuff, that's a little bit more, you have to train with us for us to represent you. Unfortunately, a highlight tape is just not enough.
Yep.
You can
Absolutely.
hide a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough. Even to watch a full game, it's like, okay, I want to see you every day in training. I want to see your character. I want to see how you tie your shoes. I need to see everything. Because if you're not where you need to be with your professional development, I need to help you. And trust me, all my knucklehead boys, I'm helping all of them right now. Like, come on, man. Like, this is not the comment that we should be making right now. For my girls, it's, come on, confidence needs to be higher. So it's like that right there is what gets me in alignment to help them grow.
I see.
So the main thing, they need to be in person with us, because unfortunately being over, out of our ecosystem is just tough. We only represent 3 people that we've actually never even met. That's because there were more referrals, and it was like, please help my friend, please, please. But now we just rolled it out. You have to train you have to come in. So even if it's for a week,
Yep.
I want to see how you interact with other players. Adversity. Those are the 2 things that we look for when we're talking about the league.
Yep.
For the younger ones and then the older ones.
Yep.
So
I really like that, because a lot of agencies nowadays, like we talked about in the car, it's just a lot of deceiving. How to make a quick buck, and to hear that you've integrated like a league, like basically a culture.
Yes.
An
experience.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that. I really like that, actually.
I appreciate it. It's I want when the thing that I want people to say about when they leave Unknown is, man, that was freaking awesome. I left there addicted to the culture.
Yep.
I asked one of the guys that is one of our pre-pro guys right now. He actually wants to apply to work with us. I said, why? He said, it's the energy, bro. He's like, I have to be in that energy.
Yeah.
I need to be around whatever you've created there. I just have to be there. That's the experience that you want to leave saying, or moving on to your next team or wherever you're headed. And we've got some big plans in the future, but we just continue to serve the kids, serve the players, help them, help the parents, whoever's in their ecosystem, and then for the leave and say the experience was unmatched.
Absolutely.
To the point where we have a few kids that are not even playing club. We just help them get recruited.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just, bring them to train.
Yep.
Wow.
Get them out to ID camps with college coaches. 'Cause it's very simple.
Yep.
Play in front of the coach, you perform, you get recruited.
Absolutely.
There's no other ridiculous thing that you need to do.
Absolutely.
That's it. So if we can do that, we can help a lot of players.
Wow. I really admire that.
Thank you.
Really admire that.
I love it.
That's how like the dream job, like I was telling you and your girlfriend in the car. So what are some like challenges or let's start with the good.
Okay.
Let's start with the good. What are some good things about being an agent? And running an agency.
You get to see the childhood dream come true.
Okay.
That of like when you call them and you're like, hey, so and so just put a contract on the table, and you just see people melt. Wow. Yeah. They're like so taken back. You see that childhood dream just immediately rise to the top when they've been fighting since they were 5, 10.
Yeah.
Now they're 25.
Yep.
Or the ones that are like, their parents are on their back. If you don't get signed this year, you're getting a full-time job. You see their whole life unfold in front of them, and you get to send them across the world.
Absolutely.
That is one of the most amazing things about agency work and helping because some of our kids, like I said, we've had from middle school all the way through their pro contracts.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's
That's
so
crazy
cool
to think about. Yeah.
So we're way more ingrained than just a normal agency. We're not just, we met you, we like your holiday tape. Okay, checked you out, have you in the window for 3 months, and then we ship you off. Like, we know some of these players since they're very young. Now, the new ones that come in, like we've got a few guys that drive from Maryland every day, which is a 3-hour drive from them.
Ooh.
It's very intense because they want it to be with the energy of the agency. So it's like also to see that commitment.
That's crazy.
So when a kid comes to me and they're like, I'm not getting up at 6 and they live 10 minutes down the road, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. All right, bro. Just stay home. Just stay home.
Just stay home.
Just stay home.
Yeah.
And I feel like it builds like a lot of trust between, the coaches and the players. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, you just feel more confident. Like I said, if a sporting director calls me and is like, hey, tell me about this player. I'm gonna be able to give them front to back everything that they need to know about this person, because I'm not in the business of just getting my players signed. I'm in the business of being able to close the gap.
Absolutely.
And make sure the player and the team gets what they need. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I work for the player, but I'm not going to go to a team and say, oh, well, he's clean on both feet. No, if that's not true, that's not true. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you now, he's only right-footed. But he gets the ball into the box 75% of the time. I know these stats about my players because I see them every day.
Absolutely.
I can fight for them. It's not, I don't have to make up stuff when I'm on a call.
Absolutely.
Or my agents when they're on a call. Like, they don't have to make it up. It's real. It's very, very, hey, you want training film? Here you go. This was from yesterday. We're always watching.
Wow.
We're always watching our players. And then our coaches, 90% of them are pro players. 90%. So it's funny when they come to our pro players, like, hey, get me a trial with this team. And they're like, you came in, you complained today. Your shoes were untied. You went out all weekend. Why do you think I would go to bat? So it's so real. It's so real for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's in lifetime. It's not some random person on the phone in a different country. You're just waiting.
And they get to see it. They get to see how the players act, the way the players hold themselves.
Yes.
And what's expected of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a very real and raw culture. And there's a lot of people that come in and go right out because they get exposed.
Yep. They can't
with their habits. I got exposed by my college coaches and me partying too much and worrying about the wrong things and spending too much money. Mm-hmm. You get exposed. So either you continue to get exposed until you can come up on the rise.
Absolutely.
Or it's just not for you.
Yep.
You can't be a pro, unfortunately. And it's cool because our kids get to watch me do it in real time with our older players. So sometimes I'll be at the sessions and they're like, I've got 6 years or 5 years. Like, I know what I need to do. Mm-hmm. They get to see it in lifetime with them. It also teaches them early.
Yep.
The standard.
And what are some the negatives to being an agent?
Oh my God. There's a long list. Where do you want to start? Okay. Well, in the agency world right now, in general, it's a mess, like I said. Unfortunately, what's happening is with these highlight tapes and with the purchasing of players, sometimes a player gets either inflated,
Okay.
where they're not as good as they've been pitched, and they get signed to a team, and the player shows up, and then the team is way above their standard,
Yep.
and then the team's upset because they paid all this money for their visa, and they lost an international spot, and now they have to get a transfer. There's a lot of things. So, and then there's the ethics. We talked about it a little bit. Agents that are making promises that they can't keep. Also situations where agents are making passes on female players. Hey, if you do this for me, like it's just inappropriate.
Absolutely.
And it's like, we need to respect each other, male, female, I don't care what you are. Can we keep that professionalism? Because we're just trying to play. We're trying to play and make money. That's it. But if we do it the right way, everyone can be happy. So there's a lot of problems in the agency world. And then you got, agencies that sign 400 players, and then you're just waiting. No communication.
Yeah.
You're locked into a contract. And you won't hear communication for months. It's very challenging. They're like, oh, I pitch you to these teams. Yeah, well, that's funny because my highlight tape, the views on my highlight tape haven't moved.
Yep.
It's about communication and actually doing right by the players. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. Not even close. But those are some of the big problems in the agency world right now. And there's hundreds of more problems. But those are some of the big ones right now. Big ones.
Yeah. So what's brought you here to Orlando? What's brought you here to Orlando, the O-Town?
Yeah, the O-Town, man. My O-Town family. I love my O-Town family. So my old college coaches, Tim and Tiff Sahadak, who coached me at VCU.
Yep.
Now coach at UCF. Bree and I have been doing camps, my old business partner, for Evolve.
Yeah.
We've been working Tim and Tiff's camps for 13. This is year 13.
Oh,
You're
wow.
13? You're 14. Ooh, you 13, I think.
Yep.
And so they fly us in every year. We have a great time. We take care of their residential camp and their youth camp. Got about 350 girls. So fun. Oof. And we do this every year with them. We did it at VCU. It was a lot smaller, but the Central Florida community, especially with the pro scene here, there's just more kids that are playing. Richmond's very small compared to Orlando. So that's what I come here every single year, and we just have a great time. Get out of Richmond, coach some new players. I'll miss them in like a day, but it's nice to get out and be around other, players, be in the sunshine and, learn from other coaches.
Absolutely.
And stuff. Yeah. So that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, before we close, right? What is like an advice you would give to players that want to make it to the next level? And that's wondering, what are some attributes that I need to be able to play at the next level, or to be able to, make it to play for MLS Next or something like that?
There's so much, right? But I definitely have a few. My first one, and because I'm going through it right now, we call it new level, new devil. Just because you level up doesn't mean there's not going to be another problem.
Absolutely.
I've been training kids for a long time. Next week, my girlfriend and I, we fly out to Wales. We're getting our UEFA B license.
Okay.
Very excited. All female course.
Wow.
Do I have to go do it? No, but I wanted a new challenge. If I expect my players to level up, I have to be leveling up.
Absolutely.
And I knew that challenge right there would be my new devil, of being filmed while I'm coaching. Body language. Am I actually writing the session properly? And am I achieving what I'm supposed to be doing? I'm going to be learning from some of the best UEFA coaches around the world.
Yeah.
But through the Welsh system. But it's like, young players and coaches, they have to understand, if you're not willing to deal with that next level, don't do it.
Absolutely.
New level, new devil. And just because you get to there doesn't mean you can continue to do the old things that you did. That's in the past. That's what you got to get there.
Yep.
That's what you had to do to get there. Now you have to do new stuff, more stuff. So that's one that I tell my players all the time. Another piece of advice, and this is life advice too, is people are going to love you and hate you for the same reason. So you might as well just do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Yep.
Why disappoint two people, them and you, for not doing what you wanted to do? Just do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, people really don't care. They'll talk about it for a minute, but on to the next news.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to put yourself in a position as a player and as a young coach, or just a coach in general, of, I'm going to go for this. Because guess what? There's a chance I could fail my UEFA B. Huge chance. Not going to let it happen.
Yep.
But you have to put yourself in that position to get better and to be challenged. So these are very big, not just soccer things, but life things that these kids have to understand.
Absolutely.
And then consistency. It's cliche.
Yeah, absolutely.
Consistency.
You have to be consistent.
I saw this crazy quote probably like 2 months ago. It was like, if you practice something for 10 minutes a day for a whole year, you're like 90% better than 90% of the population at that. So if you jump rope for 10 minutes a day,
Okay.
every day for a year, you will be better
Yep.
than 90% of the population at that skill.
Wow.
So it's not one day where you jump rope for 20 hours.
Exactly.
It's the consistency, small habits.
Yep.
So look at these kids, because sometimes I'll have kids that'll, we have a membership at Unknown, and I tell the kids, if I haven't seen you, I'm going to text you. And then if you're not here, I'm going to ask you, what are your habits right now?
Absolutely.
Are you at least training when you're not with me?
Yep.
Or us? So it's that consistency.
What are some unknown players that went out and
Yeah.
talk to me about that.
Yeah, which one? What levels? High school, middle school, college, pros.
Level. Yeah, the pro level.
So I have this one player that I have to talk about. Okay. So we had a family, 2 young boys.
Okay.
Great clients of mine. I've coached them since they were young boys.
Yep.
So probably like 8 years.
Okay.
Their cousin.
Yep.
Her name is Savannah Taylor. Her cousin, who's the dad of the 2 boys, called me. He was like, yo, she needs your help. She wants to be a pro. She's coming out of a D2 school. She just had she got cleared from her I can never say it, compartrum syndrome.
Oh.
Like it's in this area, the shin splints, and it's a lot of it's a heavy surgery. She got it on both legs.
Oh man.
And so I was like, all right, cool.
Yep.
Great. You guys are longtime clients of me. Of course I'm going to help this girl.
Absolutely.
Get on a call with her. Loved her from day one. We just hit it off. She came into the facility. She died in 10 minutes. Just was dead. I said, okay, you're going to have to train with my U13s. And she just had no ego. She's like, Lauryn, I don't care what it takes.
Really?
I want it so bad.
Yep.
I don't care if it's between U13, U10, U15, U20. I just want it.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I know you as a trainer, my cousin talks about it all the time. Like, please. And she came in every day for 10 months. And even when she was injured or tired or went out or whatever, she came in and was at least there rolling, stretching, doing what she needed to do.
Wow.
And by the 10th month, she got signed to her first contract, Salamina in Cyprus.
Wow.
Within under a year, played Champions League with Apollon, and now she's playing in Finland.
That's crazy.
That was one of our, she's not like, Alex Morgan or something crazy.
Yeah,
but,
shout out.
Right. It's important for people to know that you can still have a really good pro career, even if you came out of a D3 school, D2 school.
Absolutely.
And, her goal is to play at the highest level she can. And then she also got called into the Armenian national team. So things just move quickly. She's in her 2nd year of being a pro.
Wow.
2nd year of being a pro.
Yep.
And then I'll talk about one of my male players.
Absolutely.
It's funny because he actually used to not train me, but I used to train with him and one of his boys to get ready for the national team.
Okay.
So Chris Durkin plays for DC United. His best friend Simon Fitch is a Richmond boy. He plays for Richmond Kickers right now, USL 1.
Okay.
I used to train with them
Yep.
to get ready for the national team because I had no trainer. I didn't have anybody, so I just would go out to a grass field with them, and obviously they were just here. They're all both like 6'3", 6'2", just big guys. And so this past year, we would train on and off randomly. And he's like, hey, can I come in and get a quick session? And then he came to me this past winter and was like, listen, I want all the sauce. I want 3 months. I want 2 private sessions with you a week. I was like, okay.
Yep.
Are you sure? And he's like, I want to work on my defending. I want to go back into my next season, which is now flying. And we did. And I videoed every single session.
Wow.
And I gave him video breakdown of every single session.
Yep.
And he's doing excellent now. He's doing great. He's getting into the attacking third. His defending is incredible because he put the work in.
Yep.
Because I'm just teaching the facts of how you do certain things. And he just took it. And it's been so amazing to get these text messages from friends that are like, yo, Simon looking fast. Simon's never been fast.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
I mean, the man put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's with the Richmond Kickers right now on a 2-year contract. Loving every minute of it. Obviously, his goal is to play in the MLS someday. And so those are two of my players that they just put the work in, man.
Absolutely.
They put the work in, and they said, I don't care what it takes. Tell me what to do. I will do it.
Yep.
And they did.
Put the ego aside. Put in the work. Get the job done.
I got to do that all the time.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm ready to go to Wales and leave my ego at the door.
Absolutely.
And I have to.
Yep.
Gonna
So
have
what
to.
what are some like things that they make you guys do? You know, for UEFA B.
I don't know yet.
What are you gonna?
So we actually just finished our Safe Sport 3-year certification. So we had to meet with one of the. I hope I don't butcher this. He's a social worker.
Yep.
He's in the Wales national team system. He's excellent. So we had to learn the difference between how to keep players safe and
Yep.
kids safe and stuff. So that was the first part of the certification. It was virtual, but we fly in 2-3 weeks to go out to Wales. But it's going to be a lot of on-field stuff. Hey, here's the type of session that you're going to be planning. This is how you plan it.
Yep.
This is what you have to accomplish. You have to do a warm-up that's related to it, a small game that's related to it, and then something else. And then they film everything. It's going to be very live time. I mean, so there, when you're filmed, there's no opinion. Like you either did it or you didn't.
Absolutely.
Your body language, you can't argue.
Wow.
When they're like, "Oh, I said that." No, you didn't.
Wow. So and do they make like a big like emphasis on like the body language too?
Everything. When I teach my coaches now, that's one of the first things that I fix with them.
Really?
Yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes they'll, walk away from the kids and turn their back. I'm like, never. Walk backward. Side shuffle. I don't care, but you need to do. If you do that, you need to do that intentionally. If you're upset with them, don't do that unless you're purposely trying to let them know by your body language. Because if
Okay.
you do need to do that, there are times where you're really upset in a session
Yeah.
as a coach, and you're like, you know what, I've had enough. You guys are gonna blah blah blah, and then I turn my back.
Mm-hmm.
But if you aren't purposely doing that, that's not the right thing to do. With our younger kids, you need to be at their eye level or below, which means you need to get on your knee. Like things like that are very key because you want them to
Okay.
feel safe.
Yep.
Hey, listen, I know you're struggling today. You gotta bring the voice. There's so many things that you can
Absolutely.
do that I'm teaching. That's the first place. I don't even start with the actual drills. I start with that kind of
Yep.
stuff. So I'm assuming
I didn't
they're
know
gonna
about
just.
these
I'm sure
things.
there's more stuff that they're gonna just tear us up for.
Yep.
But I want, like I said, I want to start with the youth national team pretty soon, and then move into that senior level.
Absolutely.
And I will coach in World Cup. I never got to play in one, but you damn sure I'm going to be
the
coaching
goal.
one. Yeah,
That's the goal.
I'll be calling you.
Absolutely. I'm gonna be
Come
watching.
fly out with us.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
Lauren, this was a very, very good talk.
Thank you.
I learned a lot today.
Wow.
About the agency world, and how to properly, nurture players. I think like a lot of like we spoke about before, a lot of agencies, a lot of clubs, they just look for the quick dollar. They don't. It's like they don't care about the genuine relationship with their players. And from day one, when I saw your videos, I saw you had it.
Thank
So
you.
had it.
I
So
love that. Thank you.
keep on doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
And thank you. Shout out to you.
Thank you so
Killing
much.
it in the game. It's going to be a huge wait list to get on this podcast soon.
Really?
Like, yeah.
You think so?
I told you. I said, man, the minute I saw your podcast, I said, yeah, he's it.
Yeah,
He's
you
got it.
Yeah, you
Because you're
did show
real,
some
you're
love.
authentic. It's not this superly scripted kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
You see
yeah.
those videos and it's like,
Yeah. I don't want my podcast to be scripted. Just like come have a conversation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your journey.
I love
and
that.
Let's keep it going.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you or anybody else that's listening to the podcast
Absolutely.
or watching podcasts, let me
Yeah.
know. Please, please,
Thank
please,
you so
please.
much.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been great having you on, and
Thank
wish you all
you.
the best.
Yes.